Hey folks, hope everybody's having a really good Easter weekend here. Thought I'd do a quick video that I've been meaning to do for a while now. I've been getting a few different emails from people asking me why I don't carry potted plant of this or potted plant of that, or why do I only carry Tropica potted plants. So I thought I'd do a video and sort of go over sort of some of the legalities of potted plants in Canada and some of the differences between potted plants in Canada. There are basically two types of potted plants that you'll see at aquarium stores or online in Canada. The first one is the truly potted plant. And the truly potted plant is one that is grown in a nursery, as most aquarium plants are. That's not any different, but it's actually grown inside the pot with the rock wool as sort of its rooting substrate to form its root structures and give it a good start when it gets into your aquarium. So here's an example of one of a truly potted plant here. You'll see you can see the roots that are growing right through the rock wool there, so you can tell right away that this is a truly potted plant. The second type of potted plant is one that you'll typically see from suppliers in Asia, and it's not a truly potted plant. So when they export them, they don't have to claim that it's a potted plant. The plant itself wasn't grown in the pot itself. It was just put in a pot prior to shipping. So that's how they can sort of get away from that sort of thing. So I'll show you an example of one here. So here's a Alternanthera plant here, and basically basically what they do is they just sort of cut the rock wool in half, and they just sort of sandwich it together and then throw it into a pot, and then ship it, like that. So it looks pretty much the same, but you'd never know, right, if you're buying this pot, what the difference was. Now the reason for that is it's very difficult to export anything grown in any sort of medium, for that matter, into Canada. It's extremely difficult to get the proper permits and that sort of thing. So that's sort of how some places get around it, is just by sort of sandwiching a plant and then just putting it into a pot. So what's the difference, right? Well, here's one that's truly potted. There's only 3 companies in the world that legally can export, and from a Canadian retailer perspective, there's only 3 that you can legally import from, and those are the 2 nurseries in the States, in Florida, which are Florida Aquatics and Waterscapes. And the only international one that's allowed to export into Canada at this current time is Tropica. So that's why I basically exclusively have Tropica potted plants, because they're the only ones that are legal in Canada at this point in time. So if you see potted plants from another producer, there's a few others out there, Genero, Hortilab, Anubias, they're either being imported illegally, or they're being sort of fake potted plants, as I showed you with this Alternanthera plant. They're just kind of being sort of promoted as potted plants, but they're not really potted plants. So obviously, it as a consumer, it's hard to know. But basically, if you see any potted plant that's not from Florida Aquatics or Tropica or Waterscapes, it's either one of 2 things. It's being imported illegally, or it's a fake potted plant. So, you got to kind of make your choice on that from your perspective as a consumer, whether you care about that or not. From a hobbyist perspective, I mean, I think it's a good thing that we all sort of play by the rules and we do the right thing and that sort of thing. But it's up to you. But I thought I'd just sort of do a video on that and just sort of show you because I've been getting a lot of emails from people saying, why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Well, there's a reason for it, right? So Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And if you have any questions, just reply to me in Facebook or on the YouTube video. Thanks.